Hey, what's up? My name is Jesse Dow, and I'm a top 100 influencer agent here at eXp Realty, and I'm a 5-year icon agent, actually coming up on my 6th year, and I've closed over 837 transactions and counting. I've also generated over $1.1 million through eXp Realty's revenue share program, and I've also earned an incremental $200,000 through eXp's stock incentive program, and I absolutely love that. So this channel gives you real elite behind the scenes information, numbers, strategies, and updates here at eXp Realty so you can make the smartest decision possible for you and your business. And if you're a serious agent who wants multiple revenue streams and real growth, this is the channel for you. So today I'm going to be talking about eXp Realty's revenue share program and how you can build, let's say, I can't say passive income because it does require work, but residual income through hard work. Now, a lot of people, when they think of eXp Realty, say 5, 6, 7 years ago, what they thought was like eXp is just this recruiting company. And that is where a lot of agents led with. And I'm here to tell you that what happens is that agents get so excited when they see this, when the light bulb finally goes off, that they just want to share it with everyone. So what they do is they pick up the phone, they think this is the easy path forward, and they start dialing everyone. And when agents are like not ready to jump into eXp immediately, they just give up. And I am here to tell you that agent attraction is the real deal. I would say I think less than 10% of agents at eXp Realty actually participate in revenue share. So when they talk about eXp being a recruiting company, I actually think that's laughable because the lifeblood of a real estate brokerage is real estate agents followed by production. And you take those two things and that's what every brokerage is made out of. The only difference between eXp and almost every other brokerage out there, except for all the Me Too eXp Realties, is that eXp takes 50% of the cap. So whatever you pay into the brokerage, they keep 50% and they give the other half back to the agents in revenue share. Now, every other brokerage out there, for the most part, takes that 100% of the pie and they're sharing it with all of the owners, with all of the regional ownership and the corporate people, And I always have said, when you look at the traditional model, and let's just use a franchise, for example, you always see that little thing that says franchise fee, and it doesn't matter if you're capped or not, but you're always paying into that franchise fee, right? That means that all of that money is going to that franchise owner and whoever they're paying. I've always said, what does it matter if they're taking that money? Good for them. But eXp has taken that money and they're just giving it back to the agents to help grow the business. So would I rather have 7 layers of support from my organizational upline? Or would I rather just have my standalone brokerage that's probably independently owned and operated in one little location, maybe has a couple top producers, that aren't even willing to help me grow my business? Or do I want to be in an organization that's, monetarily rewarding them and incentivizing them to help me grow and scale my business? Because remember, the more successful we are and the more money we make here at eXp, the more money we all make together. And what's the old saying? A rising tide lifts all ships. And that's exactly what we see going on here. So don't get revenue share confused with stock equity. So I hear a lot of agents be like, well, isn't the revenue share stock? And the answer is no, the revenue share is not stock. Revenue share is cold hard cash that's deposited into your bank account every single month if you're participating. And there's actually a button you can hit that is a pay now button. The other thing I love about the eXp revenue share, and I'll get into the calculations and all the thing, and this is whether you're ready to jump into this or not, doesn't matter. You should always be fully educated, because what I see happen time and time again, and this is what I talk to agents about when I do a one-on-one call when they're thinking about eXp. And if you ever want to schedule a call, feel free to look down in my description, or I'll have my guy put up my number right here. You can always text me anytime. As I say, what is your long-term vision? Are you here just to sell real estate? Do you want to learn about agent attraction and maybe it's a possibility down the road? Because depending on which route you want to go is going to be a different avenue for each specific thing. At the end of the day, production is always number one. You can't have any of the other stuff without production. Now, if you're a non-producing agent and you just want to focus on agent attraction and earn revenue share, That is 100% possible too. And there's a lot of brokerage out there that require you to pay the cap. So at eXp, it's 16K. A lot of brokerages take that 16K out of your revenue share or your production for you to even earn revenue share. So you actually have to buy into the revenue share to earn revenue share back. At eXp, if you never sold a single home, eXp actually has a referral program that you can go into and continuously earn your revenue share without paying the brokerage any money. Now, the thing I like about that as well in eXp's revenue share program is that eXp's revenue share is also willable. So what that means, if I become physically incapacitated and my wife is a licensed real estate agent, I have her listed out as my primary beneficiary for my revenue share. If I ever become physically incapacitated, my revenue share goes straight to her. Now, if you have a beneficiary and you get a list too, they are not licensed. eXp allows them to get licensed within 12 months. And once they're licensed, they will start giving them their revenue share because the revenue share is paid out as a commission. So you don't have to be part of the MLS. You don't have to be part of any of the associations. You just need a real estate license. So typically when agents get to a retired age, what they do is they roll their license into inactive status, and then they move into the referral program, and then they continuously earn that revenue share. And there's some agents, it's not everyone because less than 10% are earning revenue share, but there's agents that have never sold a single house in the last 10 years that are making over 6 figures a month in revenue share. And the money is real. And every time I show anyone the revenue share program, they always instantly want to just start recruiting. And then I'm like, no, pump the brakes. This is a slow roll. And if you're an influencer, it's a lot easier. And if you're someone that's into recruiting, it's a lot easier. And if you're just an average agent or you're a brand new agent, the whole goal of real estate is creating is financial stability and income. Now, I'm going to show you here in a second exactly what the model looks like and how you could probably earn 6 figures a year on revenue share without a ton of effort. It's because what happens is these agents have these big ideas and all these big goals of what they want, and then they don't get it in the first day, and then they give up. That's why real estate has, a 90% failure rate, is because they've been painted this picture that is completely false. And then when they jump into real estate, they realize it's not exactly what they wanted or what they thought it was going to be, and then they pull out. And the same thing goes for recruiting. I don't understand why these recruiters at like Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, Berkshire, and the list goes on. I have no clue why they are not in a model like eXp, because a recruiter, some of those recruiters have recruited tens of thousands of agents, and they're just recruiting to the brokerage. And if they were to do that here, these people would be making insane amount of money. But what they are tied to is they are tied to the salary, and that's sad. So I'm going to pull up my screen. I'm going to walk you through revenue share. Any comments down below? And like I said, if you ever want to book a call with me, let's jump on a call. And eXp has actually built an actual revenue share calculator, which you can go to. It's called revsharecalculator.exprealty.com. And you can actually plug numbers in, have fun with it, and see exactly what it is. But I actually created my, I have another one that's actually on an Excel spreadsheet that is a little bit easier to see in my opinion, but I'll show you guys both. And I always remind agents is this might sound confusing, but you need to pay attention. And let's just walk through this baby steps one at a time, and we'll show you exactly what it is. Because what you hear all the time is you hear, this agent's at my second level, third level, fourth level, percent here, percent there, da 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 da. And that's all just like an agent's like, I don't even care about that stuff. Like that instantly puts up the wall, right? When I heard it for the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, and the 100th time, I thought it was disgusting. I didn't want anyone to talk to me about eXp. That's all everyone was coming at me with. And then when I came to eXp, I closed my first deal. And guess what? On the 22nd of the month, I got this check, and it was for $750. And I was like, what is this? And I went in and talked to my broker. I said, hey, I got this check for $750. Was someone overpaid on another closing? Like, what's the deal? And they're like, oh, that's your revenue share check. And I said, I just came here. And I said, one agent paid me, I think it's from one agent closing a deal, because the way that the timeline ended, one agent closed the deal right before the cutoff for the month of revenue share payout. And they're like, yeah, it's just one agent's deal. And I said, so one agent closed one deal and I made $750 and they're not on my team. And they're like, yeah, that's revenue share. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the freaking light bulb went off. And I was like, I need to share this opportunity with everyone, but I'm going to do it different. So I created my YouTube channel, and this is before eXp was doing a YouTube channel. and I brought on a ton of agents. People would hit me up thinking I was YouTube corporate, or sorry, not YouTube corporate, eXp corporate. And a lot of people wanted to join eXp, and they would call me up. So then all of a sudden, all of these people started making YouTube channels about eXp, revenue share, and blah, 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 blah. So you see a lot of people putting just eXp videos on their personal brand accounts. You know, maybe they're a coach, maybe they're, trying to sell real estate on that channel. This channel is 100% dedicated to eXp information and how eXp can help you build your business. And that's the biggest difference. I do have my Channel Junkies YouTube for Real Estate YouTube channel with my business partner, Jackson. But for the most part, this is 100% dedicated to eXp information. And coming from a real agent's perspective, you know, I've been in the trenches. I built my business first 2 years, cold calling, open houses. I did 50 deals my first 2 years. It was exactly split, 25-25, half from listings, half from open houses. Then I got sick and tired of that and built my whole business through YouTube for real estate. Me and my business partner, Jackson, cracked the code to YouTube. That's what we give agents that join us here at eXp. Plus there's like new co-sponsorship opportunities, which we'll talk about here in a second, but it all makes sense. And right now I am trying to give you guys as much information so you can take little bite-sized chews and digest it properly. Because what happens, like I said, is agents throw all of this information on the agent listening, and then they automatically start blacking out because it's just too much. So let's share screen and just go through this. And I'm gonna walk you through this the way that the eXp presentation is set up, so that way you can see it, feel it, and understand it. And then you'll be able to like get a good grasp on it, okay? Okay, so here we are. We are on the eXp presentation. If you go to join.exprealty.com, you can find the same exact presentation, and you can see everything about eXp right here. But my recommendation is book a call with me. Let's jump on. Either you're a good fit or you're not. But we'll walk you through exactly what we have to offer and how eXp can help you get into production faster, or increase your business, or help you grow your team, depending on whatever your goals are. Like I said, there's a different avenue for different people. So this is very simple. It says right here, eXp agents can sponsor an agent to join and earn a percentage of revenue when your sponsored agent closes a transaction, earn revenue share until your sponsored agent reaches their annual cap. This is probably like one of the biggest misconceptions, is that agents think that you have to cap to earn revenue share. There are other brokerage models out there that have that requirement. eXp does not have that requirement. Remember what I said? There's some brokerages that require you to pay into the company cap. So say here at eXp, it's $16,000 right here. You see that? Brokerages make you pay that through either your commissions or through your earned revenue share, and then they start paying you revenue share. I freaking hate that model. I think it's disgusting. I love the way we have it set up. It's whenever an agent pays into the cap, eXp then pays half of that money back to the agents in the organization until you reach your cap. So once you reach your cap, the revenue share is then done paying out for that specific agent. So if you have one agent paying in $16,000, every piece of that until they hit 16K, eXp is giving a portion of that back. Once they reach their cap, they're not paying into the company dollar any longer. No more money is going out for that specific agent. When they reset their cap, guess what? Revenue share resets for that agent, and then the revenue share starts getting paid out again. Now, if they're a team agent and they're a half capping agent, this number goes to 8,000. So then what does eXp pay out? They retain 4 and they pay out 4. Very simple math here. If you're a team agent at eXp, you can also earn revenue share. There's no barriers for who earns revenue share. And if you're paying into the company dollar, you're paying into the revenue share pot. That's just the way it is. And if you're an agent earning revenue share, every agent in your organization paying in, you're earning off of, whether they're a direct recruit of yours or 7 levels below you. So, and I'll talk to you about that right here. So eXp pays out agents from the revenue share. Percentages are paid based on each tiered group. Okay. This is like what starts screwing everyone up. And honestly, I try to make it as simple as possible. An agent that joins you, like let's just say, we'll use me for an example. An agent joins me directly and lists me, Jesse Dow, as their sponsor. That is what they call a tier 1 agent. Now, that could be you. You're my tier 1 agent. Now, if an agent joins you at eXp, that agent is now my tier 2 agent and your tier 1. And if an agent joins that agent, they are now my tier 3 agent, your tier 2 agent, and that agent's tier 1. You see how it starts stacking down? That's the easiest way to explain it. Now, if you take this number here, 17.5%, that's 17.5% of $8,000. And that is the maximum that you could earn off of an agent. Okay, so what is 17.5 times, or sorry, what is 17.5% of $8,000? $1,400. So you could earn $1,400 off of an agent in tier 1. 20% of an age of 18 or 16 or $8,000 is what? 8,000 times 0.20, $1,600. And you start going down the list here. And when you see this plus here, plus, I'll talk about that here in a second. That is a bonus payout. So every single month, eXp pays out an additional amount of money based on the additional money they have in the revenue share. Now, if you're saying if they retain half and give out half, how can they have extra money left over? And I'll explain that here in a second. And before I go any further, if you have any questions, ask them down in the chat box. But you see this bonus here where it says 50%, 4K year 1, a first year agent. So when you join me, the first year, they increase the bonus payout to $4,000 versus $1,400 in year 1 because they want to incentivize us to help grow our agents that join us here at eXp. That's another nice thing that they've done. And you see this thing that says cap, that if you cap, which means you pay into eXp 16K, they unlock all 5 tiers. When you join eXp, all 3 tiers are automatically unlocked, tiers 1, 2, and 3, so you get maximum payout. And then you have to unlock these additional tiers. So if an agent doesn't have these tiers unlocked, they get a portion of the revenue share payout, and then the additional goes back into that bonus, and that is paid out based on your agent counts in levels 1, 2, and 3. So I know it doesn't make sense, and maybe you're confused at this moment, but it's very simple. And I'll show you guys how many agents you need to unlock the levels. Remember, 1, 2, and 3 are always unlocked. Whether you have a 1 or 5 agents in tier 1, and remember, every agent that joins you directly is a tier 1 agent. You're always gonna have these first 3 levels unlocked. But if you cap, you have all 5 levels, so you get an additional 2 levels unlocked for 13 months. And if you're an icon agent, which means you hit your cap and you do an additional $5,000 in transactional fees after that, which is about 20 deals, you get all 7 levels unlocked for 13 months. And that's huge because that's a lot of money. So people look at this screen here and they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is wild. Now remember what I said. If you join and you all first levels, tiers 1, 2, and 3 are unlocked. See that? 0 to 4 agents in your front line, you have all 3 levels unlocked. So that's why it shows boom, boom, boom. Now, if you want to unlock all of the potential revenue share, and I'll show you what the numbers look like here in a second. If you want to unlock all levels, or levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, remember 1 through 3 are always unlocked, but if you want to unlock the maximum payout in level 4, you would need to have a minimum of 5 frontline qualifying agents. Now, what is a frontline qualifying agent? It's an agent that has earned a commission check for more than $5,000. So once they do, they are now a qualifying agent for 6 months. So to earn all of the revenue share in levels 4 and beyond, because 1, 2, and 3 are automatically open, you would need to have 5 qualifying agents to unlock all the payouts in level 4. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this for a long time. It takes time to get to level 4. And the reason they did this, in my belief, this isn't confirmed. The reason that they unlocked levels 1, 2, and 3 is because what was happening is a brokerage or a team would come over and they would stack their agents in these levels to help other agents out and earn revenue share. And then their levels wouldn't be unlocked. So like, how do we fix that? Well, that's my belief. It's not confirmed, but that's my belief, is that if they unlocked all levels 1, 2, and 3, number 1 is those agents bringing on teams and brokerages would be more incentivized to come over here, and agents getting after revenue share early would be incentivized as well. So to unlock tier 5, there's 2 ways of doing that. Either A, you cap and then you have all 5 levels unlocked, or B, and you see that right there, cap, or B, you have 10 qualifying frontline agents. So I have personally have had over 50 qualifying frontline agents, and I'm going to tell you, producing agents is the name of the game. So if agents ask me, what's the perfect agent to attract? The perfect agent to attract, in my opinion, is an agent that's doing between about 1.8 million and whatever beyond. And the reason why is because once they hit 1.8 million in commission or production, they're typically capped and they're no longer paying into the revenue share. So that is like, if you're talking about strict revenue share performance, it's an agent that caps. That's it. Now, if you want an agent that attracts other agents, I've done this now and I've brought on over 1,000 agents. There is no formula that tells you who is going to be an agent attractor to help you build your organization. I've seen agents that have sold 0 homes come in and build a big organization. I've seen agents that have built brokerages of freaking 500 agents and they come in and they don't recruit anyone. And it just depends. I don't know. I wish there was an answer to that. And it just, people need to be motivated, right? It's like, what's your motivational source? Now, to unlock level 6, you would need to have 15 frontline qualifying agents. That's agents doing receiving a commission check of over 5,000 or more. And remember, they're unlocked for 6 months. They're qualifying for 6 months. And then the most opportunistic and the most revenue share, if you have agents all the way down to level 7, is you either need to be an icon agent, which unlocks your revenue share for 13 months, or you need to have 30 frontline qualifying agents. That means you've recruited 30 producing agents. And in level 7, any agents that are down in level 7, which is that's 7 levels down, that's 25%. And let me tell you, it's pretty nice. So $8,000 times that by 0.25. So you're earning $2,000 per agent down here in level 7 if you have 30 frontline qualifying agents or you're an icon agent. So let me bring out over the revenue share calculator so that way we can see exactly what these numbers look like. And actually, I'm going to use so if you want to go to this is over here on revenuesharecalculator.exprealty.com. And you can come in here and just mess around with it. This is in beta test. So there's residential and then there's international. So let's just say the average sales price, and I'm going to use my market information, is we'll just say $450,000. The average agent's commission here where I live is 3%. The average number of homes sold per agent per year, let's just go with 5 homes. Frontline qualifying count. How many agents are in my direct frontline? So let's just give for round numbers. Let's just say I have 5 frontline qualifying agents. And then it says right here, the adjustment bonus. Remember what I said is if the agents don't have all their levels unlocked, they earn a portion. So then there's a bonus given out. This says there's typically ranging from 25 to 35% of an adjustment bonus. But I'm just going to look at apples to apples. I'm not even going to add the adjustment bonus. And we'll add that here in a second. So let's just say year 1, let's say I'm able to bring on 5 agents in my first year here at eXp Realty. 5 agents selling 5 houses at $450K. I'm going to earn an incremental $16,875 off of those agents. Remember, they're paying in half of their capped EXP and they're paying half back to the agents. Now let's just pop in here the adjustment bonus based on the lowest number they say, which is 25%. So you see how that number just went up to 21,000? That's what happens here every single month. There's always an adjustment bonus because there's always additional funds. Now let's just say these 5 agents brought on 5 agents. They just rinsed and repeated what that first level did. So 5 and 25. What does that look like? See, that number just went up to $46,406. That is by them just selling houses and you showing them what eXp Realty is all about. And if I add the adjustment bonus back in, $58,071. And let's just say this line, level 2, just all out went out and recruited 1 agent each. $80,000 in revenue share. It's an absolute no-brainer. So people are like, well, what does this really look like? I will tell you now, after doing this for a long time, is what does a real revenue share look like? And the reason they call it a pyramid scheme is because it literally goes down like this. So it starts to cascade because you start to compound your organization. So let's just say 5. Let's just double it up on every level and see what that looks like. 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, Oops. Remember, if you were at this level and you if you didn't have more than 5, remember you're not getting full payouts on levels 5 through 7 because you only have 5 here in level 1. You would get 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you wouldn't get 5, 6, or 7 maximum potential. So the number's barely moving up. So what you would want to do, so it says on that amount of agents, on that total amount of agents, you're going to earn $297,000. And that's with nothing even in the adjustment bonus. So, and that's with 5 frontline qualifying agents. So if I ever just directly recruited 5 agents and my organization went to work on this, but I want to show you guys something. If you were to change this to the 10 frontline qualifying agents, watch what happens. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. 5, right here. Move this to 10. Look at that, it went up to 352 because I just unlocked the full potential of another layer. All right, so I'm over here on the revenue share calculator, and if you want to check this out, it's revsharecalculator.exprealty.com. Anyone can go to this. There's residential, US and Canada, and then international and commercial. So what's the average sales price of your market? In my market, it's about $500,000. So I'm going to type in 500,000. The average agent commission is 3%. The average numbers of homes sold per agent, I'm just going to pop in there 5. And 5 and below is part-time agents. So let's just give it right in the middle, 5. That's still considered part-time, but at the peak of that. Frontline qualifying agent. A frontline qualifying agent is an agent that has earned over $5,000 in commissions, and then they're qualified for 6 months. So I'm just going to go 5 here. And then an adjustment bonus. This is optional. So remember what I said. If an agent doesn't have those levels unlocked, they get a portion of the payout. Well, the additional amount of that money is given to the adjustment bonus, which then is then calculated through the agents that you have in your levels 1, 2, and 3, and they pay out based on that. So if you're heavy in levels 1, 2, and 3, you're going to get a bigger adjustment bonus. And I'll show you, and it says right here, it's typically 25 to 35% of that number, but I'm going to leave it at 0, and then we'll add it in later just for fun. And remember, levels 1, these are your direct agents, but these are just the agents that you attracted in year 1. So I'm just going to show you the difference between this. So let's just say 5 agents in year 1. Your maximum potential for this specific structure here is $18,750. So I'm actually going to bump this up to $600,000 because I want to see what the maximum opportunity is. This would put every agent capping, or we can even make it $450,000 and then just bump it up to 6 sales. So that's agents capping every year. I want you guys to see the maximum opportunity. So in level 1, their first year, the most I would earn off of those 5 agents would be $20,000. That's revenue share paid back from eXp. Now, if it was year 2 and beyond, that 5 agent, I'm going to earn $7,000 per agent. So the goal is to keep adding and adding and adding, and then it turns into compounding, a compounding formulation. So the reason I don't like doing this 1-year bonus when I'm showing this is because this isn't going to be an ongoing number unless you keep, that pipeline full. And what is John Sheplack's motto? KFR, keep recruiting. That's the lifeblood of a real estate brokerage, and that's the lifeblood of a team, and that's the lifeblood of a revenue share organization if you're interested in this. So let's just say I attract 5 agents, and let's just say they all attract 5 agents. Each of them do it as well. So 5 and 25 here. What does that look like? That's going to pay me, as their sponsors, $47,000. And let's just say all 25 agents all recruit just 1 agent. What does that look like here? That then turns into $72,000 eXp would pay me for attracting those agents. Now let's just say all of them recruited 1 agent also. That now turns in, what is that? That's a total of $87,000 versus $72,000. So you see, you keep going down here. Now, what do you think is going to happen on level 5 here? 5 frontline qualifying agents would only unlock levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 total unlocked. 1, 2, and 3 are always unlocked. Level 4, you need 5 frontline qualifying agents. To unlock the full potential of level 5, you would need how many? 10 frontline qualifying agents. So let's just go 25 and see how much this number changes. So 87, add 25, only went up $1,000. Guys, I see this happen all the time where agents build these big organizations and then they don't have the qualifying agents to unlock the levels. So how do you unlock level 5? You either need 10 frontline qualifying agents or you need to cap, right? So let's just bump this up to 10 and see how that number just went up to 97,000 bucks. That's what happens. Now let's just say another 25 agents here. That's $102,000. But to unlock the full potential, what did you need? 15 agents qualifying, and that just went up to 122. And then to unlock the full potential for level 7, you need either 30 or you have to be an icon agent. An icon agent would unlock all 7 levels for 13 months, okay? So let's just add that to 30. Obviously, this would actually change this to 30 as well because all 30 of those agents would go into your front line. So look how much that just went up. That's insane. That went from where it was at to 1.7 million bucks, okay? That's, oh, you know why? Editor cut out that part where I just said 1.7. I saw this number just bumped way up. So that number just went up to $207,000. Now, is this what it would look like if you just really recruited 30 agents to your direct frontline that were producing agents? The answer is absolutely not. I know I've done it before and I've had over 1,000 agents in my organization total. So what it typically looks like is it depends on if you do the recruiting or someone else does the recruiting. And what do I mean by that? I mean, are you an influencer agent that's going to attract people? Or are you someone that is going to attract an influencer agent? Because I'll be honest, my sponsor, he about 90% of his organization comes directly through my line. And a lot of the big agents out there that have thousands and thousands of agents, they typically have one agent that did all the heavy lifting. My advice is if you are interested in revenue share, is slow and steady wins the race. I would say let's just focus on getting one agent a month. And then that is, and it's a pipeline game. It's always about timing. And this right here is for educational purposes. So let's just say you're gonna go slow and steady wins the race. And your ultimate goal is to get, over the course of 2 years, your goal is to hit 30 agents in your level 1. And you're going slow and steady. And I can tell you right now that through traditional multi-level marketing structures, they call it a pyramid scheme because it typically builds out like a pyramid. So let's just say every level doubles up. And honestly, it typically is a little bit bigger than this, but I'm just gonna give something for level playing field. So let's just go 30, 60, and let's just see how that just grew. So if I did 30 agents in my level 1 and then it doubled, you would earn 138,000 a year in revenue share. Now, let's see it double again to 120, it would be $258,000 in revenue share. So that's 120, that's 230 agents, total revenue share organization size, not hard at all. 240, now you're earning 402,000 a year. 480 here, 594,000. And remember, I'm not even putting any money in the bonus over here. Let's go 480 times 2 is 960. It did that again. $1.54 million in revenue share. Do you think people are here making $1.54 million in revenue share? The answer is yes. There's a few people that do it. And you can actually go into the income disclaimer and look and see how many people. There's over 196 agents here at eXp that earn over $1 million a year in commissions and revenue share combined. So that's a cool number. And let's just say 960 times 2. Let's just say 1920. This is all maximum opportunity. Remember, maximum opportunity. If they only paid in portion of half of that, this number would be cut in half if every agent half capped. So if every agent in my organization was on a half cap, this number would be divisible by 2. That would be the maximum opportunity. So the most you could make in this organizational structure here is 5.394 million. And remember, you have the bonus up here. So let's just go on the low end of 25% and see what happens. Because remember, it's based on your first 3 levels. So since I only have 120, 60, and 30, the number barely squeaked up a little bit. So let's change that to just say back to 0. So it went from 5.394 million to 25% to 5.458. So an extra 100,000 or in some change. And if I take that up to 35, obviously it goes up a little bit more. So not a massive impact when your organization is huge, but here, let me just show you guys this and take this back down to 0 and show you guys, because all of the bonuses are paid out in levels 1, 2, and 3. So let's say you have 30, 60, and 120. So you have 3, 6, 120. So you have, what is that? 210 agents in your organization. You're making 258 grand in revenue share. And then let's just bump that up 258, and it went to 322. So you see how dramatically different it was in the percentage change, because this is all of the people that aren't earning revenue share in levels 4, 5, 6, and 7 when they don't have those levels unlocked. All of that incremental money is being paid out right here into these pods. So if, let's just say you only had 5, 5, 5, and then you had 1,000 here, 0. See, look, that went from 625 to 620 because they're only getting the revenue share bonus paid out on 15 agents here. So this would really hurt my heart if this was me. And I'll be honest with you, there are agents here that have organizations that look like this: 3, 120, 600, 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200. And guess what? They don't have 30 here. They've only got 3. And then look, they're making a 1.3 million revenue share. But if they were to get their frontline qualifiers up to 30, their maximum opportunity would be $5.5 million plus the bonus, which is not going to move it much. 5.8 million. You guys, this isn't like why. Actually, I need to bump this up to 32. So either A is they could become an icon agent, which is doing essentially, in this model, you'd have to do 25 transactions to become an icon agent, or you need to recruit 30 producing agents. That is wild to me. There's no other real estate brokerage out there that has this opportunity. And yes, there are Me Too brokerages. I will repeat, there are Me Too brokerages out there that have taken eXp Realty's model and then tried to redo it. And I'm going to tell you, the revenue share is not nearly as equitable, and a lot of agents try to quote unquote get in early, but if you couldn't build an organization here, how can you build an organization there? And the other piece of the pie here, and let me share my screen one more time, is what they call co-sponsorship. And the reason that this is most important is because now you can choose an agent at eXp as your primary sponsor. So let's just say you're like, I absolutely love what you and Jackson are doing over at eXp. However, I have a friend, or there's a brokerage in my marketplace. So they'll say there's a broker here in my market that has a physical location, but I really want to join you guys, but I really think I need that physical location. The good news is you can actually join us as your primary sponsor and them as a co-sponsor, and it doesn't change anything. You'll get the best of both worlds as long as that co-sponsor is on board. You know, I don't know, not everyone is like in the know of the co-sponsorship because it's fairly new, and a lot of people like want it to be structured a certain way to give out certain things, and I'm just like, I don't care if I'm the co-sponsor or if I'm the primary sponsor, but if you come to me first and I'm the primary reason you're moving to eXp, then we should be listed as a primary sponsor. And I'll show you what the difference between primary and co-sponsor is here, which once again, is another layer. And if you've gotten this far in my video, you might want to consider subscribing, because this is pretty boring stuff, but it's the most life-changing things. But it's the most life-changing aspect of real estate and how it can create real sustainable residual income. I can't say passive because it does require work, but let me show you co-sponsorship really quick and then we'll bounce out, okay? So this is new additional support for new agents here at eXp Realty. When you join, you have 5 days to list a co-sponsor, and it just says the co-sponsor program allows an agent or an advisor to have both a primary sponsor and a co-sponsor. This means agents and advisors can benefit from the support and guidance of 2 experienced leaders while maintaining the structure of eXp Revenue Share model. Very important. A lot of brokerages take 10% off the top and then they each get 45 and 45%, which I think is a joke. eXp Realty put the revenue share model on the map, and you might be thinking, well, Keller Williams has this. Theirs is profit sharing, completely different. What I would ask if you're interviewing brokerages is, what's the average revenue share payout per agent? At eXp Realty, it's about $2,500. At I've done the simple math at Real Broker, and it's about $1,400, and then LPT is under $1,000. They don't even disclose it. I think they're embarrassed, but that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of people online chirping, but everyone that goes over there thinks they're going to get in early. And the reality is 90% of their agents are on a flat fee structure, which pays out $75 per transaction to the organization. And you have to pay $15,000 into their program before you can start earning revenue share and be on their business builder program. I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's a very interesting model, and I'll leave it there. I'm here to focus on eXp, but the co-sponsorship benefits from revenue share from the agent and their downline, but the revenue share does not flow up further in their organization. So what does that mean? I probably just confused you even further. Let me explain very simply. The primary sponsor, so when you sign up at eXp, it'll say who influenced you the most to come to eXp. You put that person's name. Then when you're onboarding, you have 5 days to list your co-sponsors, and we'll show you how to do that if you want to do it. Because there might be a great fit for you and a way for you to I know based on what you're telling me what you'll need. And I can say, hey, list this agent over here as your co-sponsor. They have amazing resources that's going to help you. Case in point, I had an agent contact me last week. They were like, hey, I really want to focus on expired listings. I said, okay, fantastic. I actually have an agent in my organization that crushes it with expireds. He's got an automated system. You literally you can do everything before you go off and do whatever else you do. You can do it. You don't even need to get dressed. You can literally just sit there in your shorts and t-shirt out from the gym and do this. And it's not even your real face on the screen. It's mind blowing. And I said, but not only would you get him, but you get me, and you can still list another co-sponsor from another organization. So now you're getting to actually triple dip. And yes, there's a way to do that. But let's just say you're like, I want to go all in with YouTube with you guys, channel junkies. And I also want to be part of some other organization over here. Fantastic. We can make that happen. Whoever you list as your primary sponsor, they are going to get the revenue share from that revenue share is going to pass through the upline. So the people in my upline are going to get the revenue share. And I'm also going to get the downline revenue share as well. The co-sponsor is not going to get the upline revenue share. So they're only going to get the downline revenue share benefits. And because essentially that co-sponsor essentially takes my level 1 position away, which is perfectly fine. Doesn't matter to me. Do I take a small little hit? Yes. Does it matter? Absolutely not. I know agents are always like, well, I don't want you to suffer financially. I'm like, trust me, I'm not suffering. And this is what's best for the agent. Once again, the best for the agent. And the primary sponsor gets the FLQA, which also, like I said, unlocks those agents. They get the stock grants. This is important because every year you sell a house, an agent gets stock off of their production when they sell their first home. But when you sell your first home as my recruit, I get $400 in stock for bringing you on and helping you grow, right? This says that co-sponsor gets revenue share levels 1 through 7. I get it 2 through 7 because remember, my co-sponsor would be my front line, and then they pull that away because I'm not earning revenue share off of them. So it's either I take a tiny little hit or I lose 50%, which is what the other brokerages that do co-sponsorship do. And then the fast start bonus, remember that $4,000 for your first year? The co-sponsor actually gets that, but they only get half of it. So they get $2,000 their first year off of your production. So we both lose a tiny little bit, but it's in the grand scheme of things. This is so much more beneficial to the agent because you now get to get the advantages of 2 different organizations. So if you're a girl watching this and you want to be focused, heavily involved with a female focused group of women that do things at the absolute highest level and just dominate that space, you could list them as your co-sponsor and get what we have to offer. And vice versa. If you're like, I'm going to build the baddest team in the entire country, and you want to partner up with the #1 team in the country as a co-sponsor and learn everything that they're doing, guess what? That can happen here. And when I talked about traditional brokerages versus eXp Realty, that is what happens. We are all being incentivized as your organizational leaders to help you grow and scale your business, because the more agents you need to bring on to help support your business, the more money we're earning in revenue share. The primary structure of most franchise brokerages is to keep you trapped in that model, and they can't support your exponential growth. That is why I call the traditional real estate model the trap model, because they're there to trap you in, because they know that they are on borrowed time, and it's only a matter of time before you come into a place like eXp Realty. And let me tell you, eXp is not for everybody, and this is why I encourage agents to reach out and explore their options, because you could be spending time somewhere else. And I see this in every single agent that comes in. Agents that are doing 6 to 20, 50 deals a year, they come into eXp and they instantly double their business. Why is that? Because the trap model was holding them back. eXp is where the pros go to grow. And if you want to talk more about it, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. We'll set up a one-on-one time. And like I said before, if you've made it this far in the video, at least give me a like or consider subscribing, because I am dropping up-to-date information about eXp Realty. And yes, there's a lot of channels out there, but if you look at all those videos, they're 2, 3, 4 years old. Even I have 4-year-old videos. A lot of that information is outdated, so you definitely want to be staying up to date. And until next time, we'll catch you later.